You look at one of the best illustrations is David. Here David is, just a teenage boy. I mean, just a young man that's been keeping sheep. And he comes to see his brothers. His daddy sent him with some food and said, go see how everything's going. No doubt his daddy was worried about his other children, if he was dead or not, or what was going on with the fight. And David shows up about the time Goliath walks out on the field. Yeah, if you left your window down, you better run. And he hears Goliath down in the valley. And Goliath is cussing God. And he's challenging Israel. And he's saying, your God's not real. And if he's real, hey, come out here and prove it. And he's cussing God and mocking God. He's mocking God's people. And they're scared to death. Yeah. And that's exactly where the majority of Christians are, standing up on the hill looking down in the valley, too scared to do anything for God. What did David do? He said, why don't somebody take a sword down there and cut that dude's head off? He's cussing our God. Who does he think he is? And his brother upbraided him, and he said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? Is there not a reason for somebody to stand up and go down into that valley and kill that giant? A little old teenage boy. A strapping. I mean, he wasn't no beefed up looking fella. He's just a normal kid. Yeah. Saul throws his armor on him and says, go fight. He said, man, I ain't tried this stuff. He throws it off. He got a sling and staff. He went down through yonder running. He stopped at the brook, got him 5 stones, and he went running toward the giant. He wasn't running away. He wasn't crawling. He wasn't trying to sneak his way up to where he was at. He looked at him and he said, I'm going to feed your flesh to the fowls of the air. You're going to die because you defied God and you defied God's people. You're done for. And he laughed. He had a man out in front of him with a shield. He had a big staff like a weaver's beam. Here he is, 9 feet tall. All this armor on him, man. He's protected. And all this, he comes to me with a staff and a sling. What am I, a dog? And he starts whirling that thing around his head. And he's running toward the giant. And he slings it. Catches him right in the forehead and sinks up in his head. And he goes over and gets his sword and chops his head off and he holds it up. He said, now what was y'all's problem? Why couldn't you do that? I mean, either God's who he is or he ain't. Amen? Either we believe God is God or we don't. Now, another good verse. 1 Peter 4, 12 and 13. Beloved, think not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened. You know what? People come into church and they make a profession. I didn't say they got saved. They make a profession and then they leave and you don't see them anymore. It's because they're promised everything's going to be rosy. Everything's going to be better. Maybe marriage is going to be great and because you've trusted God and the world's going to be bright and cheery. And they're headed out into a battlefield. And they get out on the battlefield and things don't go just like they said. Well, hey, this ain't real, man. Something's wrong. And they get discouraged and fall away. Peter said, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. Yeah. Don't think it's strange. You're going to have trouble. Yeah. You're going to have trials.